Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Mohsen. Today we are going to discuss spatial data and spatial variability. What is the agronomic variability, as we are much more concerned about the precision agriculture top, uh, course. So what is the agronomic variability? Fundamental assumption of precision farming. Agronomic factors vary spatially within a field. If these factors can be measured, then crop yields and or net economic returns can be optimized. So what is the variability? Variability difference in the magnitude of measurement of a variable. What are the causes of variability? This is the most important thing. So we will discuss. So the type of variability include the spatial variability, that is in case of lateral or vertical. If we are looking for the spatial variation in our field from one point to other point at a distance, so this is the lateral spatial variability, and if we are uh, digging the soil and we are working on the root zone or the unsaturated zone of the soil, so this is called as the vertical spatial variability. In case of temporal variability, it is the variation with respect to time, as here the graph is presented of the network side, uh, and the variation of the concentration with respect to hour is presented here. So it is getting peak and getting lower. So this is the temporal variation with respect to time in the network side. So the variation fields are not uniform. Uh, Variation is found in the soil texture, soil organic matter, soil pH, soil slope, orientation, crop density, weed and insect population, crop water content. Why does the land vary? Variability can be caused by geological, topographic, atmospheric, and human factors. Landscape shaped over geological time, natural factor. Soil is actually the function of chlorine, oxygen, potassium, as presented by Janney in 1941. Root zone changes in agriculture, land use, weeds, and other pests, human impacts also causes the variation in the land. Spatial variability at the field scale is presented here. The variation in the elevation on the top left side, soil series, average yield variation, slope, soil organic matter, available soil, potash. Spatial variability at the macro scale factor is presented here. Soil biochemical process within the soil, root and root hairs, and the rhizosphere process like pH, low or high pH. The temporal variability at the monthly scale is presented here. Weather and microbial activity or the fertilizer application presented here. Soil and nitrate in milligram per kg. With respect to time, the variation presented under treatment 1 and treatment 2 in the left side. Side at a depth of 2 inch. Uh, while the depth of 6 to 12 inches, the T1 recommended management, T2 intensive management, and dates of fertilizer or the N application, but the variation in the graph is presented on the right side. Crop uptake measurement error. So the variation also has pattern. It can be a random pattern or the nested pattern. The left side describes the random pattern and the right side image describes the nested pattern of the sample or the variation but in the field. Random variability, fine scale variability with unknown causes, including sampling and analytical error, include variability that may be too small or complex to be discounted by the measurement. In case of spatial variation, it is uncorrelated or correlated, or it is a scale dependent. So, spatially correlated variation is presented here, while spatially uncorrelated is presented in the Lowest are the bold graph where there is no relation of variation with respect to distance of volume of soil or crop property. Variability in the wheat population is presented here. You can see the variation between the within the field, the weeds variability. And also the variability in the grain yield is presented here. The highest yield uh, is 18.216 to 20.7, while the lowest was 18.2 and the highest is 65.24. So this is the map of grain yield variability within the field. Temporal and spatial variability influence appropriate selection of suitable sensing technology. Economic is key. Must answer to the following question to determine success and profitability efforts in agriculture. How much do crop, soil, environmental characteristics may vary spatially or temporally? How much do variation affect crop yield or crop quality? Do sensor or actuator technology exist to profitability management variability? Thank you very much. If you have any question regarding the variation or spatial variability, you can ask me during the meeting when we will discuss in our own native language for the further explanation of the variation. Thank you very much.